our perception can't be shallow. You know, there's leprechauns with taller and bigger perception than us. A leprechaun has a bigger perception than you. Come on now. Thank you very much. Go ahead and have a seat. Go and have a sit down. Welcome to the Penniless One podcast. My name is Jesse W. Benson, but my friends call me J. Benz. And boy, oh boy, am I excited because we have a great show for you today. First off, I'd like to start off the show with a little segment that we call Is It Booty? Is It Booty is where we look at what's happening to us in life, real time. And we say, is it nonsense? Is it crazy? Is it stupid? Is it wrong? Is it dumb? And if it is, we say, it's booty. Is it booty? It's booty. And if we really think it's some BS, some bull, then we say, is it booty? And the answer is, it's booty. So let's hop off into it. So what happened to me yesterday? So, I wake up and I'm excited. It's early in the morning and I want to go ahead and get up and go to the gym. Why? Because somebody said, hey, your face is getting fat. Ew. Okay. So I need to get in the gym. My face is getting fat. So I'm going to go to the gym. I know I'm going to push the bar up to help my chest. I'm going to lift the bar to help my arms. I don't really know what I'm going to do about my face. Must going to need to go in there and do a facelift. Hey, it don't do nothing but get worse from here, let me tell you. But anyway, back to what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the gym. And when I go ahead and go to the gym, I need to get there. I don't know where I'm going because I haven't been there before. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use technology. I'm going to go ahead and get on this app, get on this maps, and I'm going to put it in. And I'm going to take the fastest route because I'm really excited. I'm motivated. I want to get to the gym. So I put it in there. Oh, it's only 15 minutes away. Cool, let's go. I'm pumped. Let's do this. So I get in the car. And the app tells me to make a right on the highway. Let's make a right on the highway. Let's go. So I jump on that highway, and herein lies the rub. Is it booty? Check it out. So I'm on the highway. What do I run into? A toll booth. A toll booth? A toll booth? Are you serious right now? When is the last time you had to pay a toll at the toll booth? But there is a toll booth here. Okay, so I'm coming up on the toll booth, and I'm like, I have never had to do that before. Like, this is so old. Who has to do this still? And I'm thinking about it, and I'm going to have a good day. I promise you, I'm going to have a good day. But I'm thinking about this. Who in the world still has to pay a toll? Okay? This road has been here 100 years, over a century. I know my ancestors have paid the toll. I know they paid the dues for me by this time, and if they haven't, I know yours have. So why are we still needing to pay a toll? Is it booty? It's booty, okay? But you know what? I'm not going to let this ruin my day. I'm not going to allow this to slow me down because I'm pumped, I'm motivated, and energy is everything. So I'm going to get to this gym. So I pull up to the toll booth. I'm happy. I roll the window down. I look at the lady. I said, hey, how's it going? She said, oh, I'm doing good, baby. How are you? I said, I'm doing good. I said, how much is it? She says $1.50. Right? $1.50. Is it booty? $1.50. I'm in my mind. Who passed the pay $1.50 for a toll? I said, they're making a killing out here. Okay? This is highway robbery. Literally. Okay? And I'm thinking about this. If I was to do the same thing, can I do the same thing? I'm going to do the same thing, actually. A lot of people walk around in my neighborhood. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to set up a booth, and they need to get through. I'm going to say, hey, wait right there. You can't go through unless you give me $1.50. And they're going to say, what? They'll say, hey, it's a toll booth. Okay? But anyway, back to what I'm talking about. Paying this toll. So I'm not going to let it ruin my day. I say, you know what? Good, $1.50. So I reach in my pocket, I get my credit card. And you know what? I get the real credit card. I get the heavy credit card. I get the credit card that's made of metal because that's the one I know I'm not going to get declined. I look behind me, there's a lot of people online. I don't want to get embarrassed. So I go ahead to give her my credit card and I go give it to her. And you know what she does? She pulls back. She's like, she's like, we don't take that. Is it booty? Hey, it's booty, okay? What do you mean you don't take this? It's a credit card. She said, we don't take those. I mean, she pulled back like it was a disease or something. It's like, oh, we don't take those. What do you mean you don't take those? Hey, listen, a crackhead tried to sell me a radio last week, okay? I said, no, I'm cool, brother. He said, hey, player, it's okay. I take credit cards. Even the crackhead take credit cards. You trying to tell me the government don't take credit cards? Is it booty? It's booty, but is it booty? Oh, it's booty, 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 okay? But you know what? I'm not going to let it ruin my day. I tell you that much. I'm not going to let it ruin my day. So I said, hey, well, what do you take then? She said, we take cash. Cash? Cash? Is it booty? Who takes cash? I'm like, I don't have any cash. I haven't had cash since the late 90s. Who carries cash? So I'm looking at her, I'm like, I don't know what we're going to do. She's looking at me, I'm looking at her, what are we going to do here? Okay, I don't have any cash. She said, well, don't you have some change in your car? Change? Is it booty? Change? It's booty. Change? I haven't had no change. I said, what do you think I am? You think I'm walking up to grandpas and uncles talking about, hey, I've been good this year. They looking at me saying, yeah, you're looking big and strong. You're getting a little bit older. Let me reach into my pocket and let me get you some change. Change? You don't have no change. I said, look, I don't have any change. I don't have any cash. All I carry is credit card. At that, I said, so what are we going to do here? Because the line is back there. She says, you know what? She said, we're going to let you go ahead and go through. She said, somebody's going to bless us with what you owe today. And I said, oh, you're so nice. She said, yes. I said, you have a good day. She said, you have a good day. I said, thank you, and I pull off. And I'm good, I'm pulling off. But see, 2 minutes down the road is when I, think about what she said. Because sometimes I'll be just thinking about me, and selfishly I'm just all into what I'm thinking about. And so I didn't really hear what she said. It caught up to me 2 minutes later what she said. She said, somebody's going to bless us with what you owe. First off, what do you mean somebody gonna bless us with what you owe? Is it booty? I'm like, bless us with what you owe? What are you gonna do? You gonna ask the guy that come behind me and say, hey, the fella up front, he didn't pay. It would have been $1.50, but now it's $3 for you. Is it booty? It's booty. What do you mean bless us with? And here's the second part. What do you mean bless us with? What are you doing? Are you getting a bonus for this? Do they give you a bonus now at the toll booth? If you work at the toll booth, do you get a bonus? What I'm saying is, are you working a little bit harder to get money from some than others? You know what, Lucille? If you do a good job today, some people are going to get through, but you don't let them all through. And if you do a good job, we can give you a bonus. What do you mean? You can bless us with what you owe. I don't owe anything because I know my ancestors have been paying this toll the whole time. So we've caught up. What are these streets made of gold? We're still paying for this? Is it booty? Hey. It's booty. And the last thing that she said just rubbed me the wrong way. She's talking about somebody's going to bless us with what you owe. What do you mean bless us? Then how you putting God into this? What do you mean bless us? God ain't got nothing to do with paying this toll. God don't want me to pay this toll. No, the pastor already told me to put it in tithes. They said to pay it in the church. I said, wait till I tell the pastor that y'all are taking the tithe money that I'm supposed to give and it's going to the toll booth. You're going to have 100 missionaries out here with tambourines. Hey, yay, we won't pay. Hey, yay, we won't pay. Okay? And you know what, pretty much, that's how I feel about it. Did I let it ruin my day? No, I went to that gym and worked out a little bit, and then I came home. But when I took the route home, you think I got on the highway? It took me long to get home. You know why? Because I'm not paying no toll. And there it is, my segment of Is It Booty? Oh, can't wait to get to what we need to get into for our show today. So without further ado, let's jump into the podcast. Hello, my friends. It's that time again. My name is Jay Benz, and we're about to do the Penniless 1 podcast. Let's get into it. On today's podcast, we're going to be talking about perception versus perspective. Okay? Perception versus perspective, and they're not the same. So many of you may have thought that perception and perspective are about the same realm, but I'm going to show you today that they're not. And if you want to be highly successful, if you want to be in the big three, in terms of the big 3 L's, right? My crew, we love, we lead, we live. And if you want to get the maximum out of the 3 L's, then you're going to have to get this thing down tight about perception versus perspective. And I'm going to start off today with perception because that one's bigger. That one's a little bit harder to dive into. And people have different perceptions, so I want to talk about that. Because perception is reality. Once we think that, riding a bike is not fast enough, then here comes the car. Once we think we're not supposed to be on the ground, then here comes the plane. Okay? Once we think we're supposed to be able to talk to somebody over the airwaves, here comes the phone. Here comes the cell phone to replace the phone. Here comes the television to replace the radio. It's because whatever we believe and whatever our perception is, that perception is reality. How is our perception of each other? How is our perception of the world? And this is how we come together as a unit. And there's always strength in numbers. So if we really want to get tight and we want to eliminate things that really matter, like racism and prejudices, then we need to work on our perception. Does our perception need to be the same? Absolutely not. In fact, it's good that we have different perceptions, and this is how these things come to pass, right? This is how great things happen. This is how inventions are made, because people have different perceptions. What we need to check is our ego. Our ego and our perceptions is what we need to leave behind. We don't need to leave it all the way behind because ego is good and there's a different podcast for that. But we do need to leave it a little bit behind. We can't allow our ego to be in the front. It needs to be in the back. So when we're talking about perception, our ego needs to be behind us. Some of our perceptions are too narrow. It's too tight in there. That's a hallway. A hallway is not for one person. It's for many people need to walk down the hall, not just one. Okay? We need to open up that hallway. We need to open up our scope. Open up the tunnel. That's what perception needs to become. Our perception needs to become a little bit wider. Okay? Our perception can't be shallow. There's leprechauns with taller and bigger perception than us. A leprechaun has a bigger perception than you. Come on now. You need to open up your perception. You need to widen that thing up so that you can let somebody in. And one of the ways to widen up your perception is to start to listen and to start to get out there. Learn some things. Seek knowledge. Seek understanding. They say, seek understanding before trying to be understood. Yeah, you need to get out there, but the only way to really get your perception and not to be shallow or not to be small or not to be tight and tiny is for you to actually end up experiencing more things. So when you think of perception, what I want you to think about is experience or your experiences. See, your perception is made up of your experiences. That's the difference between perception and perspective, which we're going to get to. But your perception is based off of your experiences. And your experiences need to get more and more vast. It needs to broaden up. You need to let more in. You need to have more experiences so that you can actually understand, so that you can actually know more. Okay? Because our perceptions actually matter. Our perceptions mean something to the world. The second thing I want you to think about is the weight of your perception. Your perception weight needs to be heavy. We don't need no middle weights. We don't need, lightweight perception. We need the heavyweights. It's the heavyweight bout of perception that we need to be able to see, that you need to be able to be involved in. And you can only become a heavyweight when you're bringing in more perceptions that's more than what you already know, which comes back to the first thing, which I said is your experiences. Think about this, because a lot of times people are trying to force their perceptions on someone else, and their experiences in life have not been vast. They haven't explored. They haven't studied. They haven't gotten themselves out there. So their perception is very small. Let me give you an example. Okay? You and I are both on the street. I'm on the left side of the street, you're on the right side of the street. Okay, and here comes a car down the road. And accidentally, this car runs over and hits a dog. Oh my goodness, the car done killed the dog. Okay, now all traffic stops, and the police are right around the corner, and everything stops, and now everybody's wondering what's going on. And I'm on the left side of the street, and you're on the right side of the street, and we are both now about to have our perceptions of what took place. And here's what's about to happen. Our perceptions are both about to be true, and they're not even going to be the same. Let me show you how. I'm on the left side of the street. So from the left side of the street, here's what I see. I see that the dog has ran out into the road. Here, and what I see is that the dog has run out into the road early enough for the person that's driving it to be able to stop. Okay? But the person doesn't stop. And I'm looking at the person, and what I see is, I see the person is on their cell phone, like they're texting on the phone. So immediately my perception is that this person has hit the dog because they were texting on their cell phone. Okay? That's my perception. And my perception has some truth to it because I see the dog, I see the car, I see the texting on the phone, and that's what I have. So when I tell the police officer what happened, I tell the police officer, hey, this person was texting on their phone, and that's the reason why they hit the dog. Okay? But you're on the right side of the road. And from the right side, you're looking at it, and here's what your perception is of what took place. What you do is you also see the car coming down the road, but you see a kid, and you see a kid kick the ball out a ball. The kid's playing with a ball, and the kid kicks the ball into the road. So you see the car swerve out the way of the ball, which I never saw that on the left side of the road, but you saw it on the right side. So you saw the car dodge the ball, and then you seen the car hit the dog. You didn't see the texting part, but you seen the car hit the dog. And what you tell the police officer is you say, hey, this person didn't want to hit the ball because the kid was running after the ball, and so they swerved from the ball and they hit the dog. And that's what your perception is. And your perception is also true because it has the truth in it. You've seen the car, you've seen the ball, and then you've seen the car hit the dog. Okay? But here's what some of the reality is. I'm thinking on the left side it's about texting. You're thinking from the right side of the road, it's about dodging the ball. But in the end, neither one of us knows this, that actually the person was speeding and the person was also drunk driving. And that too has its own perception. And so here we are with different perceptions of what took place, which also comes with different points of truth that all actually matter. Now let's get into perspective, which is nothing near what perception is. Perspective is different. And here's what perspective is a lot easier. Perspective doesn't have all these things in it that perception has. Perception has a lot of things in it. Perception has character in it. It has intentions. It has motives. Okay? And perception has integrity involved. But here's what perspective is. Perspective doesn't have any of those things. Perspective just has fact. See, your perspective is mathematical. Okay? Your perspective has a numerical value. Your perspective has an answer. Your perspective is black and white. And here's the difference between perspective and perception. And here's how perception can get into and bleed over into perspective. And you can think that, the perspective is the same. But it's not. See, our perspectives in life, our perspectives on the planet have to be the same. Our perceptions can be different, but our perspectives have to be the same. So you ask me, well, Jay Benz, how do we have the same perspective? That seems kind of selfish. That seems kind of narrow-minded. No, the perception is what needs to be open, but our perspectives, if we want to grow and if we want to evolve, we need to understand that we can have different perceptions, but our perspectives have to be dead on. Our perspectives have to be the same. Okay? We have to have the same ideals in mind. If the world is to evolve and grow, if we are to evolve and grow as a people, if we are to evolve and grow as a nation, if we are to evolve and grow as a world, if we want to take over the universe, what we have to do is have different perceptions, but we have to have the same perspective. Our angle, it's the angle. Our angle has to be the same. We have to have the same angle in mind. See, perspective is all about the angle. See, if I am in the same spot as you, at the same time as you, the same height as you, the same weight as you, and everything, the same 20/20 vision as you, then we're going to have the same perspective, because that angle of sight is going to be the same. It's going to be black or white. There's not going to be any in between. Our perspectives have to be the same about how this thing, what we're going to do to grow. Our perceptions can be different, and we need to listen and learn and adjust our perceptions. But we have to have the same perspective. We have to have the same motive. We have to believe that the people is the greater good. We have to believe that what we want is the same perspective. That everybody should be free. That everybody should have a chance. That everybody is worth everything. We have to have the same perspective for this thing to evolve. And we need to stop mixing up what perception and perspective is. Everyone is worth more. Everyone is worth living. Everyone is worth, feeling safe. Everyone is worth being happy. Everyone has the right to speak. Everyone has the right to listen. We have to have the same perspective when it comes to these things, and then we can evolve, as a planet. We can evolve as a people if the perspective is the same. So let's look at perspective. And the thing that I want you to think about for perspective, when I say perspective, I want you to think facts. When I say perspective, the first thing I want you to think of is factual. So I'm going to ask you, I want you to think about this. The sun. Is the sun hot? So if I say the sun is hot, I want you to tell me, is that a fact or is it an opinion? See, a lot of you believe that the sun is hot is a fact. But the sun is hot is not a fact. The sun is hot is an opinion. See, what you were taught in school, and what you were taught in school was from somebody's perception, which was very small and very narrow at the time. What they teach you in school is that the sun is hot is a fact, but that's not a fact, because hot is not a factual word. Boiling is a factual word. That means something can boil. That means when something gets to a certain point, it will boil. So boiling, there's a boiling point. See, it's mathematical. Boiling is factual. Our perspectives need to be factual. See, boiling is factual. Okay? Because I'm going to boil this hot water in plastic where the plastic melts. See, so the boiling water is hot to plastic. So if I made of plastic, don't throw me in the hot water. Your perception needs to stop being plastic. Your perception needs to get a little bit stronger than that. Okay? So plastic will melt. Once they get the hot water on it, it's boiling water, plastic will melt. But let me ask you this, steel. So can the boiling water melt steel? No, it doesn't. See, steel can hold that boiling water. Okay, hey, look, we don't ride the train, we lay the tracks. We don't ride waves, we make waves. Why? Because that's the only way great leadership reaches its desired destination. All right? And if you want the gear is here. Okay? Start wearing something that matters. Start wearing something that means something. Okay? And if you want the books, then can get us on Amazon.com. The Penniless Soul of Juliet Rose and a Violin for Your Crow is what you need to be reading. Okay? You better get in where you fit in. Last but not least, reach out to us on the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Snapper Chatter, whatever, you name it, we're on it. So let's do this, okay? And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't delay. You dig? And now, let's get back to the podcast. Somebody can't even walk out into the sun at all. That's how hot the sun is. So the sun being hot is an opinion. But what they taught you in school, what that school system taught you, what those teachers taught you, was that the sun is hot is a fact. But that was really just their small perception. Because then again, I don't know, there's some other aliens that can probably walk right into the sun. I know I can't probably walk right into it. I'm probably going to melt at some point. But maybe there's some aliens that can walk right through it and it's cool for them. That's what perspective is. Perspective is factual. You and I need to have different perceptions. But when it comes to perspective, our perspective has to be the same angle. We have to believe what people are worth. One last example for what perspective is. Okay? In this country right now, there are some states that still have the death penalty. Well, perception, people have different perceptions about the death penalty, which is okay to have. If you do a crime, sometimes people think the crime is so just despicable that the person's punishment needs to be death. Okay? Which is an interesting perception. But other people have the perception of this. Our judicial system today is not good enough to have the perception that the death penalty is okay. Why? Because we know for a fact there's a percentage of people in prison that have been wrongfully accused and are in prison right now. They're in prison and they're innocent. So as long as someone is innocent and as long as we're capable as a society to make a mistake, as long as that exists, our perspectives have to be that the death penalty is wrong. And it only becomes right, maybe, perceptually, maybe, if we know for a fact that our judicial system is perfect and there's nobody that's going to be prosecuted unfairly or wrongly accused. Then just maybe the death penalty then will be morally correct. But until we know our judicial system is perfect, we cannot have the death penalty. We have to have the same perspective that human life outweighs our perception. That human life is so valuable, it outweighs what our perception could be. In today's podcast, you learned that even though perception may be reality, when we have our ego in front of that perception, it is our experiences and our lack of exploration that can sometimes be small and narrow-minded. And then we'll try to take that perception and force it on everyone's perspective. But you also learn that perspective is factual. So until we put our egos in the back and allow our perception to be led by love, it is only then that we should take our perception and turn it into everyone else's perspective. Hey, so let's stop riding trains and let's continue to lay tracks. My name is Jesse W. Benson, the Penniless One, and until next time, I'm signing off.